Christmas of the King. A Child's Bedtime Story. Prologue. "'Twas way and away, way far away, in a land never touched by time, there once lived a king, just a legend some say, with a story for your heart and mine. Christmas of the King. Come gather round, children, the tree is near trimmed, the rooftops are covered with snow. Snuggle up by the fire, I'll tell you a tale of a Christmas Eve long, long ago. 'Twas deep in the mountains, deep in the past, and deep in the depths of despair. There once lived a king whose heart had grown cold with a sadness too dreadful to bear. Now it never had been this way in the past, and indeed just one Christmas before, his joy was the pride of the whole countryside. His good heart could not have loved more. The object of all his affections, you see, were his son and his daughter, and they were happy as ever a family could be, and grew happier day by day. Summers would pass like sands through the glass, slipping slowly from morning to night, and the forests would sing, and the mountains would ring with their rich royal kingly delight. Then summer would change as the leaves would arrange to wear colors of bright red and gold, and never a kingdom could match the content of that merriest kingdom of old. As autumn would draw to its crinkly close, the white winter skies would appear, and the hearts of the children grew happier still, for they knew now that Christmas was near. Oh, Christmas was special, the children all knew, the most special season of all. There were cookies to make and cakes to be baked, and presents both great and small. Their gladness would grow to a feverish pitch as the grand celebrations grew near, and everyone knew, as the good king did too, 'twas the most precious time of the year. But out of the shadows one dark, cloudless night, on the lone, longest night of the year, with the children asleep in the low winter light, that first night of winter, a wind chilled the night, and a wintertime beast did appear. In rode the Black Knight of Fear. Forever the Black Knight has wandered the land, seeking out whom to destroy. He hated the heart of the good Christmas King. He hated the young girl and boy. Lost in his madness, he drew up his plan to come in the night to their beds, and from their glad hearts he'd steal their young joy, and replace it with cold fear instead. Now, fear is an evil that knows no good thing. Like darkness, it comes in the night and hides where confusion and hopelessness reign, then lingers long into the light. With sun settled back behind curtains of black, with the dark winter's moon in its place, as the children lay sleeping, he came in the dark. He came without showing his face. Like a thief, he came crawling. While snarling he crept, "I'll end all their young Christmas joy." And he reached out one claw as the young children slept, and fear gripped the young girl and boy. There in the blackness the dark deed was done. Each child lay frozen like ice. The Black Knight of Fear stole away in the dark, and the king paid a terrible price. He found them next morning so quiet, so still, not laughing nor breathing a word. The good king cried out in the gray morning chill, but no one could help him who heard. All through the day and all through the night, the good king kept close by their side, but nothing could melt their dark icy stares of the fear that kept growing inside. Night after night, and day after day, the king felt more lost and alone, and his own fear now grew for the children he loved more than anyone else he had known. When on the fourth night came his servants to say, "Tomorrow 'tis Christmas, good king," but with white wintry eyes the king loudly proclaimed, "Nay, nevermore say such a thing. Throughout all my kingdom my word shall go forth to everyone every December, and Christmas shall nevermore here in this land be a day we shall ever remember." At that very moment each servant turned cold, stone cold at his angry command. His words fell like ice over each hopeful heart, and darkness swept all through the land. The king watched in horror. His kingdom was lost. He buried his face in his hands, and sadly and painfully, finally he saw. At last he could now understand. There at their bedside he dropped to his knees and lifted his eyes to the sky. He opened his arms and he opened his heart as a tear gently ran from his eye. "My dear Lord in heaven," he whispered so soft, "your lowly servant, forgive, for I hold no power or strength of my own. My kingdom is yours while I live." Forgive, please, my anger, my fear, my lost hope. For now, Lord, I finally see 'tis only your love which brings power and peace. Return now your peace upon me. Please, Lord. Then the skies opened up, and the darkness gave way to a glimmering, shimmering light. And they say to this day that the sun's brightest ray never shone as the heavens that night. For there, midst the brilliance, a child appeared, as the babe in the manger of old. And a voice could be heard, which spoke loud a word, and the word which it spoke was, "Behold." Here is my son, who well pleases my heart, and who all his life I have loved. I too am a father who once lost my child, and I feel your pain here above. Now you, my good king, do a very good thing, and say in your heart what is true. So this Christmas morn, on the night he was born, I return your dear children to you. At that very moment the children breathed deep, their icy stares melted away, and choirs of angels were heard from afar singing, "Peace to all men on this day." The sound of their joy carried all through the land, as the soft angel song swiftly spread, and each servant breathed in the deep breath of life. Their dark fear was finally dead. There, midst the music, the king's heart was changed, and never again was the same. He gathered his children and hugged them with joy, then to his whole kingdom proclaimed, "The winters may come, the winters may go, and the snows and the seasons depart, but I'll ever hold dear this one day of the year and keep Christmas here in my heart." And so evermore like the kingdom of yore, 'tis a child who shows us the way, and his message and magic shall not be forgot, nor the meaning of each Christmas day. 'Twas way and away, way far away, in a land never touched by time, there once lived a king, just a legend some say, who learned well the reason for this joyous season, the story of Christmas, the story of peace, a story for your heart and mine.